Hey, this is Jonathan, and I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a shot because I'm on my walk and just thinking about staying in the Word or encouraged by God. And so one of the ways I do that is like reading through Utmost for His Highest every day. And so today is individual discouragement and personal growth. It's individual discouragement and personal growth. When Moses was grown, he went out to his brethren and he looked at their burdens. He looked to see what was going on. That's right from Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. Moses saw the oppression of the people and felt certain. I'm not going to stop just because the lawnmower is going. I'm just going to go. So excuse that for a moment. Moses saw the oppression of his people and felt certain that he was the one to deliver them. And in the righteous indignation of his own spirit, he started to right their own wrongs. He started doing it like immediately. Like, I received the vision and now I know what I need to do. And so he just went after it, which is like, it's a good thing to have action, but it's a bad thing to not have God behind you, right? So after he launched his first strike for God and for what was right, God allowed Moses to be driven into empty discouragement, sending him into the desert to feed sheep for 40 years. Kind of a long time, kind of a long lesson. At the end of that time, God appeared to Moses and said to him, "Bring my people out of Egypt." But Moses said to God, "Who am I that I should go?" Which is a very humble thing. It's a good, humble response. In the beginning, Moses had realized that he was the one to deliver the people, but he had to be trained and discipled by God first. So what kind of training and discipleship am I going through right now? And am I willing to wait 40 years to do it? I mean, that's a great question. He was right in his individual perspective, but he was not the person for the work until he had learned true fellowship and oneness with God. So that's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do each and every day by staying the way. For Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. It says we may have a vision of God and very clear understanding of what God wants, and yet when we start to do it, there comes to us something equivalent of Moses' 40 years in the wilderness. It's as if God has ignored the entire thing. When we're thoroughly discouraged, God comes back and revives us to his call. And then we begin to tremble and say, who am I to go? Who am I to go? We must learn that God's great stride is summed up in these words. I am who I am has sent me. And that's a great application. We must also learn that our individual efforts for God show nothing but disrespect for him. You need to wait on him, act on him. Our individuality must be rendered radiant through the personal relationship with God, and that so that he may be well pleased. That's from Matthew 3:17. We're focused on right individual's perspective of things. If we are, when we are, we have the vision and we can say, I know this is what God wants me to do. I know this is what God wants me to do. But we have not yet learned to get into God's stride. If you are going through a time of discouragement, there is a time of great personal growth ahead. So that's my encouragement. Today is just stay the way. God's working. He's doing great things, and he's teaching patience through trials. I hope that encourages you, and Lord willing, I will talk to you tomorrow.